What's going on, guys? Your guy Lips checking in here from the garage, working on the Tag R here. Let's see here. Look at that autofocus. Anyway, hopefully this is the last time I actually have to shoot a video on this phone because it is pretty bad. It's just a normal $100 phone since I cracked my other phone. So hopefully I can get some high res in my life and some image stabilization. I will be showing you guys me putting another Moroso oil pan on into my Integra. So basically I had this Moroso pan on my LS and I had no issues or anything like that. Obviously we swapped to the Type R motor and everything was all fine and good, and I figured, hey, it's a Type R motor. There's some guy in Japan that built this motor by hand and he was like, oh, okay, cool, I'll it probably doesn't slosh oil and stuff like that. That's what I figured, at least. I am wrong. So basically, going around Gingerman, I believe it was turn 7, 8. At the last grid life, I seen that I had 22 psi of oil pressure, and I was like, oh yeah, that won't do. So basically, I'm gonna swap in this pan. A lot of people like to go with the welding options. I myself am not a welder and don't ever claim to be. I can make two pieces of metal stick together, but I like bolting things on because it works out good. It usually works out pretty good. And then I got spare parts to do other things with. So there'll be an oil pan for sale soon if you guys want to do some stuff with it. I actually also got this badass self-proclaimed oil pan gasket. My good buddy John Coster. John Coster! Check him out. I don't think he's on YouTube. I think he's on Facebook for sure. But yeah, check him out. K-Series. Anyway, K-Series everything. Anyway, so this oil pan gasket, it has a layer of metal or plastic in it. I'm not exactly sure. We'll find out as soon as I open it up. It looks like metal from the outside. But it'll help hold the shape of the oil pan. Everyone always says the Honda pans always leak and whatnot. So, and also that this pan actually leaks. I didn't have any issues with my previous Moroso pan. So basically, when you get your oil pan, you definitely want to clean out the interior of it because it definitely always has some dust and some stuff in there. So you don't want that going inside your minty JDM motor there. They say God made dirt and dirt don't hurt, but you put it in an engine, it probably won't work. Ooh, Poet didn't even know it. Alright, so here's the underside of my motor. Let's see if I can focus this thing. Okay, so there's a little bit of seepage from a few places. The oil pan drain plug, obviously. Probably just need a new gasket in there, obviously. A little bit of seepage there, but for the most part, this one isn't leaking, which is really good. So I'm assuming this motor's probably never been opened, which would be really awesome. But when I get it open, I'll shoot another video and show you guys what's on the inside. Yeah, should go well. Right, so I cleaned off that outer windage tray and everything. Got that up, nice and clean. I'll clean it up a little bit more, obviously. So I'm gonna put it back up there. Got everything apart. Looked kind of nice, cleaned it up. Pulled out a bunch of gasket material. Even more oil drained out. So hopefully 6 quarts is enough. I'll buy some more if I need some. Basically got a little bit of residual leaks and drips there. No big deal, but look how small those rods are. Look how small they are. So cute. Compared to the Supra stuff. Sorry if my hands are shaking around quite a bit, guys. I'm on my back and I don't have any image stabilization. So, it was good to see this come out pretty decently. I mean, didn't see any shavings or anything like that. Just a whole bunch of gasket material. And like I said, we all know this motor makes some pretty decent power. It's a championship winning motor. Yeah, should be good. I'm gonna button everything back up here. I cleaned out this screen tube here. It's pretty nice. Some brake cleaning, soapy water. I actually bent it a little bit with some pliers, trying to pull some other stuff out of it too. But obviously, ideal would be to buy a completely new one, but it wasn't in my forecast. But nonetheless, it should be a good time. Should be good. Has to be better than before, right? Unless now I just loosened up everything. That's gonna suck everything back up in there. But yeah, should be a good time. Gonna button it up? Yeah, soon. All right, so everything's back up together and no leaks right now, I suppose. um, yeah, I really got to rehab this header. I took such a long time to do it, and then just like one trip to Atlanta, and it was messed up. So, yeah, all it takes is one bottom out. Yep, ruins your header wrap. Everyone's like, coat it. But yeah, I don't really know people that coat things really quickly. Turnaround time, at least. So yeah, it's up there, pan's up there. Already started it, built oil pressure. Of course, it idled low and all that other good stuff. But yeah, so added in some AMSOIL, and went with the AMSOIL Signature Series 530. Excuse me, it's a little late, so I'm not talking as quickly as I typically do. And I have to work in, 5 hours? Sweet. But should be a good time. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Any questions, concerns, comments, or anything like that, maybe leave a message and I'll try and get back to you. If not, I'm sure somebody will correct you, or, or then you just know you're right. So, anyway, SK out. As always, 1. Okay, so I got to do a reshoot because this phone wasn't in landscape mode, and I know a lot of people hate that, and I personally do hate it too. Because you'd be like, World Star, image stabilization. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so the bad news, or good news, if you will, this motor was opened up semi-recently. I'm going to try and shoot this a little quicker because I keep leaking stuff on my floor from this oil. Basically, looks like they took the liberty of writing Type R. Yeah, December 16th, 2015. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Anyway, it's not too bad. It's whatever. It is what it is. We all know this motor makes some pretty good jam, or a VTEC, VTECium, as I've been calling it. But they did use quite a bit of this gasket material. As you can see, it's everywhere. And that's never recommended, at least in my world, because, yeah, it doesn't leak, but, you get that stuff in your oil pickup, just like they did. So, got some things in my oil pickup, which is just what I really wanted to do before a track day. Clean out my oil pickup. Yeah, just wanted to do a quick thing, but one thing leads to another if you give a mouse a cookie. So yeah, basically I don't know if this is the stock Honda stuff or whatever else, I really don't care if it's JDM or not. I don't care. But yeah, so I'm gonna definitely clean all that stuff out onto the oil pan. So this is the oil pan. I'm not sure if it's a stock Type R pan or if it's a GSR pan or if all pans are the same. I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. I'm sure somebody will either comment and let me know how right or wrong I might be. But I would recommend, if you track your B-Series Honda, find out what you have and find out if you have a, baffled oil pan at some point or not. Because if you don't, you might blow your motor. And now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably what led to the rod knock in my SI. Shout out SI, still there. Storage. Anyway, so as I was going around Gingerman, last grid life round, like I was mentioning to you guys, which I won. Shout out, hard times. We podium, that's what we do. We out here. Anyway, so I was going to turn into turn 7. Oh, I've got a map here. So going into turn 7, going into turn 7 right about there, I would notice that my oil pressure would drop to about 20 something psi or so, and I'm like, oh, that's not cool. And I'm instantly backed off and went into the sand because I freaked out. So the next time around the track, went in, checked my oil, still at the full level and everything, which I did overfill it, like everyone was saying, by like half a quart still. Basically, and I came into turn 8, and yeah, same thing, sloshing. Or actually not turn 8, but it's more so 9, the high G right there, 9. So what I'm assuming, as you guys can see, it's pretty open and down in there. Still got some oil in there, because, whatever. It's dirty, it's Mobile 1. Which I'll be changing that out also, obviously. But you can see it's pretty open in there. What I'm assuming is, I shouldn't say assume, but the oil is either in turn 7, sloshing to this side, and the pickup sits down in here, so not getting anything down in there, and then turning into turn 9, going to this side as it is. As you can see, there's quite a bit of oil, or room for oil sloshing down in there, and yeah, so it wasn't getting any any flow through there, or actually wasn't submersed in it. So yeah, that happens. So if you guys have a Beast Race Honda and you track it, I would recommend that either get a check it out, find out what's going on, or at least get a gauge in your car. You can find out. My VTEC was coming in kind of weird. This is a JDM motor, so it doesn't have the pressure sensor to lock you out and all that other good stuff. But it definitely just felt kind of weird. I don't know. Just saying. Check it out, please. You'll probably save your motor. Anyway, coming over to this pan, you can see this one's obviously keeps the stuff down in there, hopefully. Not sure. Like I said, I never had any issues with it on my LS motor, and I check the gauge all the time. And even in Atlanta, I mean, that's a pretty fast flowing track, so you got a lot of G-forces there, high speed cornering. Never had any issues. But yeah, this gasket right here. So this gasket has a pretty nice thin layer of metal in it, and it's nice. Feels really quality. Excuse me. Yeah. It comes with like these little E-snap up things that you kind of put in the holes, and it can hold the gasket to the block. It does come with RTV, but my good friend, like I said, John Coster, has assured me that it does not need any RTV on it, because to repeat that situation that's over there. I got this from my local AutoZone. It cost about 36 bucks, as you see. Kind of a little expensive. A little expensive. I mean, if you think about a gasket, but I hear it's the real the cat's bag, if you will. So I'm gonna get to it and let you guys know how it turns out. Yeah. Got a few more things to do in the car and everything else like that. So I'm gonna have another energy drink and go at it. Make sure you obviously clean out your oil pan, for sure. Make sure you put some Teflon on your threads, because I'm a machinist, and I know machinists don't always make perfect threads. Should be a good time though. So yeah, check in with you guys soon.